It's like I clicked what I clicked.
Boom. All right. Here we are. New Year's Eve on Fierce Street.
Happy last day of 2020.
Thank you, dear goddess Cher.
Let this year see herself out.
So we're just gonna hang out for a little bit to let some people see that we're on, and then get watching us before we get started. So, yeah, Sheree, what you got going on, girl?
I am just living my last few hours of this decade that was a year. I'm excited to get into some TV and things that have dropped and will be dropping, and it's a good time to be at home as far as streaming goes. What about you?
Oh gosh, just living my pandemic life. Today has been very long. I think it's just. Oh, and also here in Arkansas, where I'm at, it's been like rainy and cold all day yesterday and all day today. I am so over it.
We had the nerve to get snow out here yesterday. Not a lot, but enough to where it's still around.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if it's going to be cold and wet, I want it to be snow.
I mean, I don't have to go out in it, so that's fine this year. Normally, I disagree. But I'm just sitting in my window going, what's going on out there? So it can do whatever it wants. What?
Oh, it's miserable. I just want to be in my bed all day, but I had to go to work, and it was a very long day at work, and not fun. But here we are, and we only have, what, 7? How many more hours? No. 5?
Oh,
yeah, 5 more hours, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got 4. If there were 7, I don't know if I'd make it.
I have 5 hours. Sheree has 4 hours left in this 2020 world. Let's all hope, pray, do a dance, make a little love, and hope that 2021 is better than 2020. Can it be worse is the real question. I shouldn't answer that because the answer is always yes. Oh, someone loved us. Who loved us? Oh, Teddy.
Dr. Teddy. No, speaking of Dr. Teddy, thoughts and prayers to California because they're still in 2020 for 3 more hours after I'm done with it.
We got any more hours than I do. So
right, the wrong coast this year. Let me tell you.
Oh, but yeah, for those of you watching, he gave us some dancing. For those of you watching, we're just chilling for a few minutes, and then we're going to get started. We're going to have some special guests on, so stay tuned. We're going to talk about next season. We're going to talk about this season. We're going to talk about fierceness, and we're going to drink. So hope everyone has their drinks ready. It's 2020, y'all.
It's 2020.
Almost 2021. Oh, Sheree. So this has nothing to do with horror, but I was wondering have you heard the musical version of Jagged Little Pill?
No, I wanted to see it because I love Alanis, not because I love musicals. And then 2020 said no.
Oh. I am obsessed with it now. I watched that thing they did, the one night on Broadway or whatever, and they had 2 performances from Jagged Little Pill, and now I'm obsessed. So I'm going into 2021 with a new musical obsession. But you should check it out. I posted a video of it on my Facebook page, so you can go check it out.
What's the horror show, Teddy? I want more on that. I want eyes on that.
Right. A live horror show that no one wants to watch.
I want more details.
Did they not want to watch it because it's bad, or did they not want to watch it because they shouldn't be watching anything live that is in person because of COVID?
Is NBC producing it? Because that might be why nobody wants to watch it.
That could be a very real reason why. I didn't even know apparently they did a Grinch this year. Didn't know it. Didn't watch it. I'm not going.
I never watch. I just get the hot takes from social media, like Peter Pan.
The pandemic. True. That is a horror show that no one wants to watch.
It is. I did not ask for it.
Oh. Yes. All right. Well, Sheree, you want to go ahead and get started on our topics we got going on?
Yes. Our first thing is first. We decided to talk about each of our 3 favorite movies we've covered this season so far. Well, the season's over. We've covered this season. Yeah, you can definitely drop your 3 favorite movies we watched as we talk about it. And let's just go from there. Trent, what was your, I almost said least favorite, but that is wrong in this context.
We're not there.
Your third favorite movie?
I'll go with I'll start at the bottom and we can take turns, right? And go up.
Yeah.
So my third favorite, so in third place.
And new to us. I should put that qualifier on. Movies that are new to us, because I did not say that.
Right. And I kind of cheated. So
I saw you. I synced it.
You picked we'll get there. So my number in third spot is because I'd seen a lot of these movies as a kid growing up, so like a lot of them weren't new to me. So I really on the favorites I tried to stay like what is new to me. So the entire season of Lovecraft Country is in third spot for me. Loved it. It was a lot. It was a journey.
A journey, Smollett. What'd you say?
We were on a journey with Journey. And she was gorgeous the whole time. All right. Sheree, what's in your third spot?
That was our first miniseries, which has set a bar as far as like things people are currently watching. Because I mean, nothing's flawless. But as far as things that people are talking about and like the traffic we got for that miniseries, which we did on a whim, it's going to be hard to top that. Like, what do we roll into with next season as a miniseries that's going to engage so many people? And
there's lots of possibilities, but we'll get to that in a little bit because, like, there's a lot. I'm hearing lots of rumors of different shows coming on, but I don't know when they're airing. I don't know when. No one's giving me specifics, people.
It's very vague. They're all vague booking their shows. Right. I'm gonna start my top 3 with "Scare Me," which we did differently because it was an interview, but I've watched it a few times, and it's fun because you got 2 writers talking about
Yes, Blair, I will get there, and I got thoughts. We'll get to TV in a minute, yes, but I agree. It is interesting.
I did not watch this one. I probably will not. But I've heard some stuff and some things. Yeah.
But so "Scare Me" is your third. That's a good one. That's a solid.
And it's new. I didn't realize how new, but like I want to say Sundance was their only like red carpet event because they were there right before the pandemic said no more stuff. Right. So when it hit video on demand, it was a fun time.
Yeah, for sure. And that would probably be like if we were doing 4 or 5, that would have made my list for sure.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with Aya Cash. You just can't.
No. So in my second spot was Suspiria. It's the remake. So if you're watching, you haven't listened to it. That's what we did. We didn't do the original, but I loved it. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really interesting. It made me think. We had so much content from us discussing it with Crystal, who we'll see in a little bit, that we had to do 2 episodes. So yeah, that's my number 2 spot.
It was very triggering also, which is why it was 2 episodes, because Crystal and I both are familiar with grad school and the arts. So that's why both halves are fairly long. It also taught me that when you're angry, you can dance at them till they die. And that's a thing I'm going to carry with me into all my years.
Dying dances.
Thanks, Tilda.
Hashtag thanks, Tilda.
Hashtag thanks, Tilda. My second favorite for this year of movies that are new to me is The Orphanage. Because kids are scary, and ghost kids are especially scary. And it was just like a gorgeous movie, and I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Interesting. I would have put the other one we did, Devil's Backbone, a little higher than The Orphanage for me.
I'm a sucker for ghost movies that center around a strong female lead.
And I will say, I do have a soft spot for The Orphanage because, I don't know if you know this or not, but in high school, when I had to take Spanish, I was terrible at it. Because, long story short, my first year I took it, the teacher was like, we're going to do coloring sheets and sing songs. And I was like, okay, this is easy. And in Spanish too, she was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I missed the whole section. But there wasn't really a Spanish version of Trent. So my Spanish name in Spanish class was Simone, which was weird.
Oh.
Really, you have to choose Spanish names in Spanish. Why can't I just, I don't know. But it was Simone, which is, if you don't know, that's the little boy's name from The Orphanage.
That little boy has seen some things. He's seen a lot of things.
He sure has. But yeah, it's a good movie. another one. If we were doing like 7 or 8, that Orphanage would have made my list. But
Yeah.
well, I don't know, because I'd seen that one before, so I don't know. Anyway,
I hadn't seen either, which is why I was like, I want to do both because it's a perfect excuse to like rent them. Like I'm cheap, so I won't rent things just for my own enjoyment. It has to be for something else.
force you to do it.
Yeah, quarantine dollars.
All right, yeah. So my favorite that we've covered this year is Ready or Not. Which those of you that know me should not be surprised by that choice. That's like a movie that's right up my alley. It was fun. It was funny. It had some jump scares, but it was also kind of like kept keeping you on the edge of your seat. Strong female lead, totally up my alley, which makes me really excited for the new Scream because that's the same filmmakers. But we'll see. I'm when I say excited, I'm still hesitant, but.
If 2020 taught us anything, it was to keep your expectations low. Lower than low. My favorite movie of this year on that note was His House. Like it was strong and it like reinvented the whole haunted house, haunted person genre and a lot to unpack and was terrifying.
That was the one, yeah. That was one of the ones I was considering, His House, and what was the other one we did for Halloween that we really liked?
Who was in it? What was it about?
The other, the guy in the plane that crashed and they...
Spell. Yeah.
But, yes, that was really close on my list as well. So, yeah, those are our top 3 of our favorite films that we have covered this season. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, no. Netflix did His House, to be honest, because their horror movies are kind of choices. Which brings us right along to our 3 least favorite horror movies we've covered.
Not surprising. Sheree and I's lists are very similar.
Is Teddy still watching? Teddy, which was your least favorite and why is it Lords of Salem? Take it away.
So, in third place for my least favorite is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Sheree and I kind of differ on this a little bit, so
don't get into my second.
No, I won't. But yeah, I just can't I can do the 4th. I can't do the 5th. They take wild jumps, and I can't. Well, Crystal.
Yes. Don't get into my second, Crystal. But yes.
Truly, it's just like the mask is also somehow they find a way to make the mask worse than it was in 4. So it was bad. I cannot do 5. I can do 4. I can watch it at least. It's watchable to me, but I can't do 5 anymore. All right, Sheree, what's in your 3rd spot?
This one's gonna get me in trouble. I do not like Dr. Sleep. I said it. I've cleared the air. I'm letting that lie go in 2020. Don't DM me. It's fine. Busta Rhymes and Resurrection, Crystal. I don't know why I did that, like an old mother who's yelling at you from another room. What's your second least favorite, Trent?
My second least favorite is, drumroll please, Lords of Salem. Second and first are like tied for me, honestly. Like it could have been either of them. Yes, Tyra was in Resurrection as well, which was also a choice. That was also the one we referenced in one of our Scream episodes, because that's the one that killed Jamie Lee Curtis like in the first 5 seconds, and it's so like it's not like I get why you needed to do it, but it wasn't any kind of climactic anything. He just throws her off the side of a building. Bye.
Which segues into my second, which is Halloween 3 through 5. I know 3 is a separate entity, but 4 and 5 and 3 are so bad together that I would not want to watch more of this franchise had I not already loved it.
See, so you can't get at me for cheating in my favorites when you cheated in your least favorites.
I didn't pick a whole series though, but name your first one because we got yes, we got.
Yes, my first one, again, Halloween 3, the Season of the Witch. Atrocious, terrible, bad sex scenes, bad everything. Like, oh, it's just such a bad movie. I can't handle it.
'Twas awful. But my number one least favorite thing we covered was that 2020 of a movie called Lords of Salem. Sherry Moon had the audacity to have dreadlocks to add insult to injury. And on that good note, let's get our first guest in.
Let's get our first guest in.
Hello, Amanda. Oh
Hello, Amanda.
Where'd you come from? Oh my God.
Texas. That's what we do. We just show up.
Right.
Unfortunately, like in elections and stuff like that.
Crystal says hi, Amanda.
Hi, Crystal.
So, Amanda, what is your favorite movies we've covered?
Wow, favorite movies we've covered. Oof. His House, for sure.
Yes.
That was I still have like moments where I'm like, whew, that was a really good movie. You know what? Your group really brought me back to Scream. For a long time, because I told Sheree this in a while. I used to watch, I Know What You Did Last Summer and those kind of things. But then you got me back interested in Scream, and I remembered like the genre, right? That was like, are you kidding me? They're stabbing him. What is happening right now? Do we not get what's happening? But I fell in love with it again, like the horror, and sometimes it can be funny.
Right.
And I thought it was just like, it doesn't always
you
have
have
to
a
be
fan
grotesque.
watching it, Amanda.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Teddy.
But Amanda is also here because Amanda's going to catch us up on Amanda's life and projects.
Oh.
Yeah.
Life and projects. I'm writing right now. I'm working on some movies. I'm doing some animation. I'm learning that because I have this free time or whatever that is. Writing, reading a lot with people, working on a show with the one person, Sheree, she would know. So we're doing some stuff. I'm writing some rom-com things with queer characters and BIPOC characters, and no one's coming out, and they're just living their life. And
it's not a sequel to Happiest Season?
That was the miserable season. So no, we're gonna have like all seasons. Just been doing that and teaching. I'm really grateful and humble that I have my job with my theater in Red Bank. So still working with them and they're a great team. They keep creating amazing stuff. Fuck the happiest. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I want it that much. I haven't watched it, but
I want you to, because you like the rom-coms, and I think it'll even break you. I foresee you being like, what is this?
It wasn't good, was it? But yeah, just working, doing that stuff, listening to podcasts, hanging out with my cat, Louise. Wow, I'm boring. Just kidding. But I'm healthy.
It's a pandemic, we all are.
I'm boring and grateful. So that's kind of it. That's been with the projects, watching a lot of movies because of y'all. And so thank you for that, encouraging me to watch horror films at 1 a.m.
Thank you.
I don't know why, but it feels right.
Yeah. So one of the other questions we gave our guests, because we have you and Crystal, who are our unofficial other co-hosts. And so we also asked you both to talk about 3 episodes of the podcast that you weren't on, which is harder to do than you'd think. So what are 3 that you liked that you were not on?
One of them was definitely Scream with Eleanor. I believe y'all did that one with Eleanor.
The 4th one.
I mean, that was hilarious, and I hadn't really seen that film. I mean, I saw bits of it. When you watch it on TV, and you're like, oh, well, that's there. National Treasure's next, though.
TNT.
Here we go. But that one I really enjoyed because I was just like, oh man, just the humor of it, and everybody was talking about the storyline and how it's moved and progressed in this way that I was just I really enjoyed that one. And I forgot, again, I like Scream. Don't hold it against me. Of course, The Orphanage. Love Peter. They're amazing. But also, I love those. I love my Spanish films. I love the beauty and the magic of how they're, what they're doing internationally with so many of these films, of how they're taking the genre of horror, which, by the way, I don't understand why we're not nominating people for horror films. the Golden Globe, the Academy. Oh, we need to talk to somebody because I've seen better acting in that. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Yeah, I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Always overlooked.
The horror films. What was my third one? I did. So we did the Halloween episodes. And I missed The Conjuring with y'all. Everybody Gets Robbed. Toni Collette.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
Tony, every year Tony doesn't get nominated for saving someone's horror movie is a crime against humanity.
Yeah. Sarah Paulson won this year, by the way. I just looked at my Hulu, Netflix. She was on everything. So
She was.
Sarah Paulson, let's get married. What?
If you take all the shots, you're gonna get it in at once.
Here we go, Sarah Paulson. But I do also like The Conjuring. It was the one episode I couldn't be on with y'all at a family event, but that one scares me silly. I don't know what it is about that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. That's what it is. I saw it for the first time Halloween weekend and was like, nope.
It's terrifying.
Yes, I agree, Teddy. My girl Nev deserves some recognition because I love her.
Nev Campbell's is great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, I pretend to care. Like when I'm with people, I'm like, oh, I'm listening. I'm pretending to care. All these other things. Pretending to be scared is hard. Like acting hard, like scared. So I give credit to people.
Yeah. Because also there's so many terrible horror films that we know the difference. Like the difference between a great horror film and a terrible horror film.
I watched some trash last week. Let me tell you. Yeah.
Let me tell you. If you need a melatonin and to think if your life is going bad, just watch a couple episodes of Riverdale. Fine, you're fine. You're gonna be fine.
Crystal's got the tea out.
Right.
I haven't even watched The Irishman. I refuse to spend that much time of my life watching a good mob film or whatever that is.
I'm not
they
sidelined New Jersey.
Anna Paquin and said she was silent because her character doesn't need to speak. She's that strong. And I was like, all of you old actors are lying to me, and I call bullshit. I never watched it.
Yeah, I live in the mob movies. Like I said, I'm in New Jersey. You just go to the ShopRite. You're fine. You're good. That's all
we don't need old men in diners. Even in a pandemic when we're starved for outdoor activities, I don't need old men in diners. That's the one we can keep in 2019.
Oh God, I love them. I love New Jersey. So I love the people so much. I mean, the ones that don't want to during this time take care of each other, but the other people, just love them.
Let us catch up with some other people who cannot be here but did email in. Other guests we've had, like Jerry Downey, who went on to start a podcast called Pfeiffer Friday. Both have P's in front. So Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right.
You know why. That has definitely started. So support that if you love Michelle Pfeiffer or just like Jerry's insight into the raccoon eyes of Laurie Metcalf in our Scream 2 episode. Yeah.
That checks out.
Right. We also, of course, are friends with Girl That's Scary, which is one of our favorite horror podcasts.
Oh, so good.
Love them.
They could not be here tonight because they were doing scary things, but definitely support them. And also, our last episode we recorded, not the last one we put up, our interview with Josh Rubin for Scare Me. Scare Me is certified fresh. So, we have other people on the internet who agree with us, which is what we all want in life, isn't it? For other people on the internet to agree with us for the right things.
Because there's many times that they do not.
For every 19 trolls, there's one person that sees it my way.
For everyone that gave whatever that movie's called that we both hated, Lords of Salem, a 5-star rating on IMDb. Get out of here.
I can't go back to that kind of rage because I'm going into a new year. I have to leave that behind me.
Yeah, leaving that in 2020.
No. IMDb sometimes is like Goodreads where people give reviews and I'm like, I don't think they've even read a book.
They haven't. That's the game.
I haven't read Jerry.
Agreed.
Yeah. But we are actually ahead of schedule, so we might as well just go ahead and bring Miss Crystal into the
Let's do it.
Should we? Oh my God, I'm gonna do it. Boop.
What's up, bitches? I was commenting and I was like, what if I just popped in that bitch?
Right?
Like, go away.
That's the energy I want for 2021. Just pop it. No.
That's what everyone else does. Martin Scorsese be all up in these award shows. I'm like, look, man, Goodfellas was a long time ago. Be gone.
He's still stuck on it, which is why all of his movies are trying to do that. But yes.
Hi.
Rachel.
Right? Rachel knows everybody in this. I love it. We should just send Rachel away to be like, do you want to be
We'll take a screenshot and it's like we're all together.
On Beyonce's internet? Would you like a drink? But Crystal, tell us about all the stuff you were getting into since the last time we heard from you.
So I'm finally, I used to always say that I'm not a writer because I have imposter syndrome, but I guess I am one. So I've been writing a bunch of shit. For a while I was trying to write things that weren't scary and then they kept getting scary. So now I'm just leaning into it. So I wrote the first season of a web series in which a woman applies for a call center position and then things get a little scary. Scarier. Like, if you've ever worked in a call center, that's one level of scary. Like, you know, like Get Out, when you're like, damn, they're just racist, probably. And then you're like, racist and. This is like that. It's like,
yeah, it's like improv with things that are already awful. It's like Satanist and.
Like, there's a hat. And you're like, oh, the demons. So that's what I'm writing. I'm also currently working on something where it's like multi-level marketing, but also demons. So that's this is kind of my writing style. It's like, and demons is like your tagline. So that's what I'm working on. Eventually I'm gonna film this shit because it's for Zoom, because why not? And then you can all see it. Yes, call center is the worst.
Never again.
But also, like, look at how interesting we are having survived that. Like, I feel like people who survive those things, you get better. It's still not worth it, but you do get better.
Yeah.
When a phone rings, my phone is always silent for a reason. It takes me back when I hear a phone ring.
My fiance, like, there's certain music that YouTubers, like, it's royalty-free music that YouTubers use in their videos, and he'll be like, you have to change it, because, like, that's the hold music at his old call center, and he's like, I can't. I have PTSD. And I'm like, valid.
No. Whenever I hear an opera, I know. I'm just like, oh God, not again today.
They ruined opera. Opera's been around for so long. And yet.
Right? It took this long. But they took it from me. As call centers take everything.
Gonna die on this. It's host all over again.
That's here. But also, Crystal, like we're talking about with Amanda, you have been on a lot of our show. Sometimes,
sorry, everyone.
Like literally, at one point I was like, "Do you want my job? What is this?" It don't.
No, Sheree, there could be two black girls at once. It's not the 1990s.
Right.
Thank you. That was so good.
But what were your 3 episodes that you were not on? Which is hard to do.
No, it wasn't that hard, but it was fun. First of all, this is weird because she's here now, but the Ready or Not episode with Amanda on Halloween, loved that. One, I just think that movie is fucking great. And like, I feel like I don't want to listen to people who are not smart and funny talk about that movie, because people who are not smart and funny are like, I don't get it. And I'm like, because you suck. Like, because right? Like, I'm like, I don't care what you think. So you guys were really fun, and I enjoyed your spicy takes on that. I also loved one of the like 3 Lovecraft Country episodes I was not on, with the girl that's scary girls.
Yes.
It was so much fun. Yes. You should come on the show.
Should she know? Should Whoopi be on the show?
Please. sometimes. Look, she's at least interesting sometimes.
She is. She makes some choices, but that's a whole separate miniseries. Whoopi's choices.
God, of like all kinfolk and kinfolk, the sequel. But I love the girls. I love the girl that's Scary Girls. Hadn't listened to that podcast before, and now I do. And also that was just also like a great costume episode, so I enjoyed that everyone was like talking a lot about that. And then my fave, probably ever, Stanley Kubrick was an asshole because he was, and
I love it.
he was the once and future asshole. Fuck him, man. So I enjoyed that.
Fun trivia fact, that is tied for our number 2nd most listened to episode, along with Amanda's Bitches at Coachella.
Yes, because we all dislike Bitches at Coachella and Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
It's like every time one pulls ahead, the other one meets it the next day. And so it's been hard.
Who do we dislike the most, Chads or Karens? I don't know.
We can just like them both.
But I really enjoyed that someone said that out loud, because I feel like we all like think Stanley Kubrick is an asshole, but like no one talks about it. And it's like, but it's the truth.
I think a lot of it is because a lot of that has been coming, like a lot of people who don't like Stanley Kubrick or who aren't like, well, he's a great filmmaker, so blah blah blah, are femmes. So, and we're often not listened to for whatever stupid reason.
I was just dreaming about this morning, about how like everyone's like, Wonder Woman's not perfect. Should we let women do things? And I'm like, no one says that about like I forgot that Michael Bay made a movie about the pandemic during the pandemic and tried to cash in on it. No one talked about that. That happened.
How many Transformers and was Shia LaBeouf in it?
That racist one? What about that racist one with the racist Transformers with the gold teeth? No one's talking about that. You remember that?
I never watched those. I took one look at that commercial and was like, this is not for me.
Transformers 2, I saw in theater. So I grew up and like I like Thundercats, like I like Transformers, like I like stuff like that. So I was like, lit, I'm gonna go watch robots. Like I'm here to watch Optimus Prime beat up robots. What can go wrong? I'm watching Transformers 2. I'm sitting in the theater and this like gold tooth having robot comes out like throwing up gang signs, and I look at the person I'm in the movie with and I'm like, is this happening right now? Like someone let them do this? And they did, and it just kept happening. They were like real characters. Don't ever watch that movie. Anyway, no one was like, should white dudes be able to make movies? So I just feel like women can make as much mediocre shit as they want.
My thing is, Rob Zombie has made countless shitty movies. I have yet to make one.
So I am not done. Doesn't he make music too?
I'm sure that's bad as well.
Just bad. I don't care what it is, Rob. Go away, Rob.
Rob Zombie must be stopped. I'm not saying it's on Spotify, but it is. Yeah.
On that note. Now that everyone's like, fuck you, Crystal, what have you done? I didn't make anything that's as garbage as half of the garbage that Rob Zombie put out because I didn't have a budget. Give me that budget. Truth or Dare. This is my parting thing about mediocre men directors. I watched Truth or Dare finally. It was bad.
It looked bad.
And I mean, yeah, we knew it would be, right? But then I read the backstory, and the guy at the production company, Universal, was like, hey, here's some money. Make a movie. And they were like, what is it about? And he was like, Truth or Dare. And they were like, okay, script. And he was like, Truth or Dare. Here's $3.5 million.
So it was a dare.
It's like, give me $3.5 million. I could make 6 mediocre to okay movies with $3.5 million at minimum. You got $3.5 million for that?
I can have a franchise with a through line.
I'll have actors show up because there's like catering. You know, don't like come on.
Good food. We can get good food. We could make a village and just make movies. We could move actors in there, pay them a salary, and just crank out movies like it's the 1950s. Y'all don't know how to save money.
I think that's what you're thinking. You're thinking of like the Olympics of filmmaking. Like make a village, throw all the people in there.
Imagine
come
if
out
you
with 20
told
films or nothing.
some small theater company, we have $3.5 million. Give me a year of your life. Imagine the shit they would come up with. I also watched, because I needed to punish myself, I guess. They made that Fantasy Island movie, which was almost good. That's what made me mad. It could have been fun and like
fun.
And instead we did whatever it was that we were doing. So next time Blumhouse has $3.5 million to burn, tell me what you were thinking of doing. Call me up. You can slide me like $50K, and I'll tell you, don't do that. Do this, and we'll all make more money.
I would love to open a service where movie producers could call me so I can stop them from making these mistakes. Like Matt Damon from Game of Thrones. Had they been like, we're going to do this star women characters this season, I would be like, no, you don't. My Venmo is.
Walt Disney call me up and be like, we're making an Art of the Smile movie finally. Amazing. Kenneth Branagh's going to direct it. No.
Why is that happening?
Why?
Stephen King could call me and be like, I wrote a black character. And I'm like, stop.
No,
put it down.
sir.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And then he's going to be like, and then I'm going to cast Cynthia Erivo in the show. And I'm going to be like,
and she's magical.
Is she going to sing a song? Is she going to sing songs, Steve? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Did y'all see that new horror film that's on Netflix with Priyanka Chopra and Pedro Pascal?
No.
It's called Spy Kids 20 something. I don't know what number it is, but I just saw it and I go, why am I BIPOC doing Spy Kids? Why am I doing Spy Kids?
Pedro Pascal's been everywhere. I need his agent. Who's your agent, Pedro? You've been in every damn movie franchise ever. Sign me up.
He was gonna be here tonight, but it's not a movie, so he pulled out.
Damn it! How will we get famous now without Pedro?
Like, what's happening?
Here, y'all. Like Pedro Pascal is out here. He's gonna be the next Bond villain, y'all. I'm calling it.
He has to be.
He might already be. We haven't seen the movie.
What if Pedro Pascal was playing Christoph Waltz, playing a Bond villain?
Interesting.
That sounds like a Chris Nolan movie.
How would you know Pedro Pascal is playing one of us right now and Tilda Swinton playing everybody else?
That's so funny.
It is I, Tilda Swinton.
No.
God, I love that broad so much. Tilda Swinton could ask me to do anything and I would do it. She'd be like, Crystal, I want you to be in, I don't know, Michael Bay's making a movie. For some reason, I'm doing it. I'm like, I'm there, Tilda. I don't know what you say, but sure. You did play an Asian that one time, but other than that, we're good.
That was a rough moment.
Because of that.
I know. I think what probably happened is they were like, Tilda, we want you to play an Asian. She was like, no, thank you. I will shave my head though. But I'm not gonna you're not gonna paint my I'm positive there is a dark meeting somewhere that no one was else allowed to be in. Where they were like, Tilda, what about these eye prosthetics like in Breakfast at Tiffany's? And she was like, I will literally kill you. You get a bald cap.
Right.
That's what you get. So thank you, Tilda, because I know. They were like, you love transformative roles, Tilda.
Yeah, like if this anything was a year or like even watching horror films, like films that y'all were talking about on the podcast, how much like money like these industry make off like these stereotypes, right? And I'm ready to have like an all black cast and like all these like queer people, and you're like, who dies first? Well, well, we don't know. Whoever screws up, because
right?
I want it to be like those kind of moments instead of having these like. And I think that's why I fell out of love with horror for a long time. And then I've slowly come back because I'm seeing like reflections of people myself and the stories being told where I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. I'm starting to like it again. Because I focus too much on that stuff, and
I think one thing that has helped horror the most is this move to streaming, because it's opened up so many more opportunities for people who the major production companies probably wouldn't have hired because they're not cis white straight men.
And I think the current like cool kids in horror too are the kind of people who are making opportunities for other people. Like the minute Jordan Peele got his come up, he was like, lit, I'm gonna produce all y'all's stuff. And I feel like the boys club that was there before was not doing that. So it's just the same kind of people over and over again.
I also think, unfortunately, it helped that we were all stuck at home. So these movies that would have not been advertised and got up in theaters to fail couldn't do that because we were here. So it's like, what's his house? What's Spell?
Black
Black Box.
Evil Eye, yeah.
I have seen more brown people survive in horror movies this year than I have my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've been 24 for a while, y'all, like almost a decade.
You should always be like that too. Like,
wait, what? 20 what? Okay.
What? One of those 20s. I don't remember no more.
I'm just like, listen, y'all. Like, you can't tell me that black guy went out there by himself like that. Like, you just can't. I don't believe you.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe you. I've never seen a black person in my life who's like, I'm in the woods with these white people. I'm gonna go wander off alone. That's not gonna happen.
Oh,
just stop.
That almost happened to me, but I called it our high school graduation. They took us up to these mountains in Colorado, and I was like,
for a minute, right after Get Out.
Okay, we're good.
Right after Get Out came out, my friend Kendra and I, if we were gonna go places with a bunch of white people, we'd be like, "Get out, Kendra! Like, don't go, don't drink anything, come straight home." Like, my fiance is white, and his family. I'll be like, "Look, can I go there? Can I go there? This place that we're going, can I go there?" Because
that's the realest conversation, though, which is another reason I had a red flag for Get Out, because they had it the day they were leaving, and I was like, he would have asked that before they made any plans.
Very true.
I remember, so Ike Holter, I sent him this picture, and then he sent it where it was like the administration in 2020, and it was like those rednecks on the porch with their guns. And then it was like 2021, and it was the Armitages from Get Out. And I was like, they did love them some Obama.
Yeah.
They did.
No.
That's unsafe. Whenever certain white people are like, I love Obama, you're like, y'all got him in a class?
As if liking one black person makes you not racist.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that internet trope. I'm fine if the doctor's black as long as it's Idris Elba. And it's like, that's not how that works. You can't be like, I'm not racist if you hire this one black person.
Also, not all black people know each other. Like, when Obama got reelected, this dude congratulated me. And I was like, I don't get extra stuff. Have y'all been getting stuff this whole time? Is that why y'all were mad? Because I didn't get the Obama bonus. I don't know if you got it, Sheree. I didn't get it.
No, I was a tutor for one of those elections. I think his first one. And the problematic woman in charge of like the teaching learning center made it a point to come by my desk as the only black person who she had hired in a community college. She made it a point to come by my desk to be like, we did it. And I was like, what did we do? What did you do? I don't know what.
It is a clear red flag. I will say this is the last weird Obama. I'm sorry. I always start these tangents. I remember when Mitchell McConnell fixed his mouth to talk about how we shouldn't do reparations because he said we fought the Civil War and we elected a black president. And I was like, well, sir, you're old, but I'm pretty sure you did not fight in the Civil War. And if you did, Kentucky was not on the right side of that, I feel like. And we know you did not vote for a black president, Mitch. So you can cut me a check specifically.
Mitch better have my money.
Mitch, I'm gonna start calling people Mitches and not bitches. Female dogs did not ask for this.
Someone made a Mitch McConnell Venmo, and people have been asking it for $2,000, even though it's clearly not Mitch's. It just brings me joy. So many people have been like, I need my stimulus. And this like person who made it is all like, here's my scam. Anybody want my scam? And they're like, no, we want our $2,000.
I will say on the horror tip, I also think something that has helped horror get more interesting is that more women have been able to write horror, because I've been reading some anthologies of Richard Matheson short fiction, and I'm like, I feel like Richard, who is brilliant, no shade, Richard, but I feel like he has like one thing he's afraid of personally, which is marriage. Like, a lot of his stories are like damn, this guy's married and he's as a writer, but he can't write now. He's being attacked by his typewriter. Or like, this guy's married and he has to work this shitty job because his wife won't stop spending money. And I'm like, I feel like these are just your problems.
I'm also a commitment phobe. Can I also have an anthology of short stories?
Please? Oh, yes. I'll send you a whole list. So if you want, we'll make a whole list. I am like, here's the tea. It's not even just a commitment phobe thing. I like to move quickly. And particularly with horror, I feel like sometimes long form horror takes so long to get around to things fucking happening that I am ready to be done. Like even like Stephen King, I 100% prefer his short fiction to his novels. I don't care. I don't want to. Why are they walking so much? I keep trying to read the Dark Tower series, and I shit the bed after 4 or whatever when they wander around in the desert for 200 pages.
I have yet to read a Stephen King novel that doesn't try to lose me in the curtains for a couple pages.
I'm bored. I don't care.
Yeah,
So
right. I'm actually currently, this kind of segues to our next point pretty easily, but I'm listening to the audiobook of The Stand. And while I watch the new series that's coming out, Stephen, the minute that we like meet, I forget Larry, the singer character. Everything's about how he sounds black, but he's not black, and how terrible that is. And he says, "Mom hates it that he sounds black." But I'm just like, but in the new series, they cast him as a black man, which I think is an interesting. Okay, I get that. I guess
in the original too.
No, he's played by a white man. They just don't bring up that he sounds black. They don't talk about that. But yeah, in the book, it's a whole chapter about how he said the black sound, and he sounds black. And of course, he drops the N, or he doesn't, but Stephen in the story drops the N word 3 or 4 times.
Short fiction. I'm gonna make you a whole list. My favorite books that I read this year were short horror fiction, because even if I don't like it, I'm just like, I can just skip to the end and move on. I can read the next one.
Right. But that kind of does actually segue very nicely into how can people stay fierce while we're on hiatus? Like, what could they be watching? What could they be renting, listening to? Yes. For instance, the new season of Sabrina dropped today. So we have to finish that because it's the last season too. I'm excited to see how this wraps up.
I am right.
We'll see. They've got like 18 plot threads, and I'm like, okay.
Right. We'll see how this goes.
I'm here. I'm queer. I'm trying.
Like, didn't they even introduce a whole new big character? Didn't they introduce a whole new pantheon essentially in the last season?
I just want Michelle Gomez to be okay. That's all I want, because Michelle Gomez steals everybody's shows from them. Sabrina, Doctor Who, The Flight Attendant, don't matter. She's coming for your show if she's cast.
Oh, she's so good.
So
good. Her and Pedro, so good.
They're everywhere too. I'm surprised they haven't worked together yet, because they're both everywhere. Or is it the long con where they're gonna do everything separately and then show up in the same thing and be like, aha, we each get our own show together?
I would love that. Someone cast them as Gomez and Morticia, but we know Tim is directing it, so it's just gonna be some white people with Johnny Depp.
It's gonna be Johnny Depp again.
His prick ass.
Adam's white. That's just, I need us
to Well, Tim Burton doesn't believe in non-white people, so
even in his animated shit, he can't have people of color. He's like, no, Jack's a skeleton and Sally's a doll, but they're both white. And it's like, but
it doesn't matter what his skin tone was. He's bones. He's made of bones. Right?
He needs us to know, though.
I'm trying to think of other things people can watch. What did I
can watch?
I don't remember what streaming service it was. I'm gonna look it up right now. But it was somebody made a 2-sentence horror stories anthology that was really fun, because it was like based on, I don't remember if you guys remember where like on Reddit people were posting these 2-sentence horror stories, and somebody turned them, each episode was someone's imagining of those 2-sentence horror stories. It was really fun.
I didn't stumble across anything. Our former guest friend LaRob sent me a link to this Facebook situation called Alter, where they have like 15-minute horror movies, if that, most quicker than that.
I love
100%.
that.
Yeah. I watched one about a box and it was wild. And I was like, and then it was over. And I was like,
Yeah.
So yeah.
If you haven't watched Black Box yet, watch Black Box.
One other thing I want to mention about The Stand before we move on past that, but is in this new series, it's not told linear. Like it skips from like when they're in Boulder, Colorado, to like when they're all separated and they're all their journeys and all that stuff. So it's a really interesting way to tell the story. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. It's only 2 episodes in right now that I've seen. But yeah, so I don't know.
How many episodes is it total?
I don't know, because it's just a limited series, so it's just going to be a 1-season thing.
That's usually code for 8 or 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's limited. Yeah.
Oh, The Undoing. Everyone should watch The Undoing. It's technically a thriller, but white people are scary. So
Hey, thrillers, I consider thrillers a section of horror.
it was good. I was worried. It was good.
It was what? Creep Show apparently not only has a full season now, but they also did a Christmas special.
Oh.
So I gotta get on Shudder to get on that because like that popped up last week, but I was in my own issues with my own bad movies I had to watch for my own.
Go with the Christmas ones.
They were awful. It was awful.
On that note, I have to go. I think you're all wonderful. Happy New Year. Hopefully it's better, and we'll see. But I'll keep yelling on the internet. I just won't. You won't see my face.
That's fair. I respect.
Love that.
Okay.
I would say this podcast. You can't even say this podcast right here. I'm like my mother. Can you say it? It's Crimes and Witch Demeanors, which my coworker showed me about. Tori, shout out to Tori. And drag queen witchy, who leads the show, and they're amazing, and they talk about all these legends or all these things, and kind of like are a librarian as well, and they kind of like go through and like talk about everything and the crime and stuff, and I just love that because I also love those horror and thrillers where sometimes it's like based on true stories, or you're like, ooh, what's going on in that house?
Right.
Murder. But yeah, I think that like I'm trying to listen to more podcasts.
One of my favorite horror podcasts is I've quoted it on the show many times. Horror Queers. So shout out to Horror Queers. Maybe one day they'll come on our show. That would be amazing. But and they only cover horror films that have some kind of tie to queerness. So either the director, the writer, an actor, a theme, a very clear theme, which typically if there's a theme of queerness in a horror film, the director or the writer is queer too.
Oh, great.
Aside from Girl That's Scary, I also found Homies of Horror, which I really, really love. That's a duo I would love to have on the show at some point, whenever schedules can line up as well. And also Brother Ghoulish, which is in his first season. He just wrapped his first season, and I'm excited to see what he does in the second.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome stuff. Well, I'm going to go eat some dinner with family on this celebration of
the end of this atrocious year.
The fire. Yeah.
It's like the last day at a job that we had to wait to quit.
Right.
This is, I mean, I've had so much fun. Thank you for bringing me back into this world that I was like about, and now I'm like, you also have given me skills. Like now I've watched so many horror films that I'm ready for some weird reason. Like I go to a gas station, I'm like, he'll murder me, can't turn that corner, grab the chips and go. Like I look for every exit now. So I'm ready.
Right?
As you should.
Right?
As I should. So you have prepared us for a lot of stuff. So we're ready. We're geared.
Thank you. That's all we wanted. For everybody to be ready for these psychos.
I'll tell you how it goes when I visit like people in like the Midwest. I'll let you know how it goes there. But
the rules are different there, let me tell you.
Rules are different, so I'll let you know how it goes. But thank you all so much. Happy New Year coming up. Let's keep making scary. Be fierce,
do
y'all.
it.
Let's do it.
Got to keep the fierceness.
Keep the
Right?
fierceness. Bye. You'll take care. I'll keep watching. I'm gonna keep watching, but I'm eating dinner.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No. Enjoy your dinner.
All right. Well, do
More
we
ways
have
to
any,
stay fierce.
yeah. Do we have any video movies coming out soon on video on demand?
So apparently, Promising Young Woman will finally be coming to video on demand sometime around January 10th-ish. At least that's the deal that the studio has struck with AMC theaters. So we can finally see it.
I've seen interesting thoughts.
I can't read them because spoilers live in there.
I don't read them very much. I just kind of skim them, and I look at the star ratings. But some people love it, and some people think it's okay.
I expected that because of the subject matter, and again, most of the critics are men. So I'm unfazed, but I'm excited to see it because I've waited for a year, and it's also, oh my god, I just forgot her name. Is it Fennel Emerald or Emerald Fennel?
I think the second. I think.
Yes, who was the showrunner for season 2 of Killing Eve, and so it has those tones in the previews, and I'm living for it, and I want it, but it's in theaters right now, so I can't have it.
And then, of course, Freaky is out now, which we're both really excited to watch.
Yes.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. That's all I'm saying.
Would those two possibly appear somewhere soon?
I'm gonna be like Brittany Murphy in that movie. I'll never tell.
Another De Niro, though.
but Brittany Murphy, rest in peace. I love her.
She was amazing. Yeah, that's what we know about that.
Yeah. If anyone else has any video on demand things that are just come out recently or will come out in the near future, post them in the comments. Let people know. Jeremy, of course, we've already talked about, but yeah, it's out there. Watch it.
So much bonus content too. So much.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that they won't be hearing from us until our new episode drops.
What is that?
That episode, I think that's going to drop on January 25th. Is it when our season starts?
Boom.
Yeah, that's the season. We have a lot of guests. Just so you're aware, we asked for guests and we got too damn many. So we have a very guest-packed season ahead of us, and some of them we have to start trying to roll over into season 3 already. So
we asked and we got what we asked for.
Right? And from here on out, we're just saying fill out the form so you can join us in the future. Because we can no longer make promises. Yeah, which is a good problem.
So, in hindsight, 2020 has been a hell of a year. But this has been fun. Fierce Street, we have fierce times on Fierce Street no matter what's going on outside of Fierce Street.
Right? We keep it fierce in here for the right reasons.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll be back at you in January 25th. We're planning, we'll start recording soon. Really excited. We have some really fun things coming up. So you all should be excited. Some birthday celebrations, some
exciting creators that we have not touched on yet.
Some themed months that we've touched on. We haven't delved deep. We haven't dived deep into it. So, but we're really excited.
It's gonna be fun. I cannot wait. So yeah, we be on the lookout. January 25th, we are back. January 25th, 2021. Let's not take that year away from us.
Do not bring me back. Do not bring me back January 25th, 2020. Okay. I don't know what I was doing, but it's got to be better in 2021.
This year was fine until early March. Have you seen the Schitt's Creek video where they put together reactions from Schitt's Creek for every month? And so the first, it's like Eugene Levy and them at a party and they're all dancing and celebrating, and then things start to get more questionable as it goes.
That's very cool. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go enjoy the final what? Let's see. I've got 4 hours now, so you have 3 hours.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. Thank you for pre-gaming with us, and thank you for joining us. Those of you who joined us.
Yes.
And
Oh, yes. Thank you to Crystal and Amanda for
Right.
joining us in our StreamYard on Fierce Street for New Year's Eve.
Right. And for those of you who watched this in the new year, you survived. Yay.
Hopefully, we don't want to knock on. You better knock on some wood.
If they watched it in the new year and they didn't survive, I got questions. Like,
Listen, we've been talking about ghost children all night.
don't watch me if you haunted and your numbers don't increase on our anchor. Don't do that. If you can hit play on a device where that counts, then do that.
Oh yeah, and so now you guys have a month to get caught up with us if you are behind, or if you want to go back and revisit some Lovecraft Country or go back and be like, oh, I don't remember what they said on Stanley Kubrick was an asshole. Go back and listen to it because we got lots to say.
We did 44 episodes, so there's something still in there for everybody. I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, you have about 25 days to get caught up. So again, thank you all for watching. It's been fun this hour or so we've been on here. So stay fierce out there.
Bye.